that owns a law house, wherever that may be in the house. But let's talk about the location of that office and what you need as a new employee of that law firm. No matter what, you're going to have some time to focus. That the employer is paying you for 8 hours a day, minus your lunch hour, and always take your lunch hour. Please promise me you'll do that. 12 o'clock rolls around, you have to train your employer that you will be away from your desk during the lunch hour. You need that downtime. And you need to train them that you are worth that, okay? That goes for any employer, anywhere, outside of law, inside. So it could be in a room by itself where you have a designated office, or it could be in a master bedroom. It could be in a walk-in closet with a table, with good lighting, where you can sit there and have some privacy to focus. It's hard with family members around, so you've got to find a private area where people aren't going to be looking at what you're doing on the computer, because all the information you're working on, everything you're working on, is confidential for that client and the attorney. Confidential. Remember that. So you can't have prying eyes, friends stopping over. People won't get that you're actually working when you're working from home. I've done it quite often in my career, and especially later in my career. Most attorneys were not open to doing it, but I found a couple who really wanted to try it, and one loved it, another one didn't, just because they want to talk to somebody in the office. So in your apartment, your home, wherever you are, you've got to have a space that you can, even if it's just for those hours in a day, that can be where you sit. And that, when you're working from home, you can't be doing so many other things personally, because they're paying you that for those 8 hours. So don't think it's more relaxed than being in an office. In fact, it can be a little trickier because of interruptions. For me, being home means I have to take care of my dogs, where my spouse was working from home only, and I was working in an office before the pandemic hit, and he was taking care of the dogs. Now we're sharing that. That means interruption, but it can't be like I'm dedicated to working for those 8 hours. So you have to focus on that, and the employer has to be confident that you are working. So where is that space for you in your home? You have to have that lined out here, because when you're interviewing, you have to have all that, like as if you had interviewed already, and what you've said, that you have a private space that's designated as an office that no one else will have access to, and what is that space? That's what you have to think ahead regarding, okay? How much equipment do you really need? Not a whole lot because of technology. You need to have a laptop or a desktop. You cannot work for a law firm with a phone, and that's all you're going to have. You cannot. You need to have, a regular keyboard that you're typing on, okay? So what else is it's so important to the attorney? Do you need a scanner? I don't really think you're going to need a scanner. I don't think you're certainly not going to need a fax machine. You did in the old days, but you don't now. Do you really need a printer? Well, a lot of it does not have to be printed out. The one thing that will occur is that you will have to send copies of documents that have been printed out. No, because you're probably going to email that to the client now. and you'll have proof within that email. It just comes down to organizing emails. It depends on what the attorney wants, so that's something to discuss with the attorney. I mean, I have a printer that's got, gosh, it's a workhorse Brother printer that is at least 10 years old, and that thing just doesn't die. But that, yes, I did need that 10 years ago, but not necessarily now. It depends on whether the attorney wants printed documents sent to the client, like copies of what was filed for, on behalf of the client. Okay. All right. So what's the other thing that is imperative? The other piece of equipment that's an absolute must is a locking file cabinet. And you can pick up used ones as long as it comes with a lock and the key. Has to come with the key. At Goodwill, at a thrift store, people try to get rid of those ugly 2-drawer file cabinets all the time. So you can look in those places, and that's something that when you're interviewing, you should mention to the attorney that you have and that you will use, and you will not leave your work for other people to look at. That in your office space, and even if your office is in your bedroom, you call it your office space, not your bedroom. And you have designated office space, and you have a locking file cabinet. And you may have to do a password protect on any of the files you have on your computer. I would highly recommend that if other people are using that same computer, okay? Because people are nosy, and if you were the client, you wouldn't want everybody in the world looking at that, at their files. That's just inappropriate. And it's confidentiality is huge in the workplace, especially the legal field. So you wouldn't want your information out there for everybody to see. And people just tend to look down and look at those documents if you have them on your desk. If somebody comes into my space at my desk in a physical office, even another worker, another staffer who is not involved with my cases at all. If it's somebody who works with me on cases that I'm working on, then I'm not going to put anything over it to hide it. But when I'm working on stuff, I just set my legal pad on top of the documents I'm working on, because another attorney who's not working on those documents doesn't need to see that information, and neither does another staffer. So our family members or friends do not need to see that either. And you really have to set up this atmosphere that you are working and people just can't stop over, that you can see them after 5 o'clock. If you have friends that are used to popping in whenever they feel like it, you're going to have to tell them, I'm working from 8 to 5 or 8:30 to 5:30, and we can talk on the phone afterwards, but I've got to really focus. You're going to have to set the standard, that they have to abide by, because they wouldn't be able to do that at your job and call you all day long or a couple times a day. It won't go over well. So don't take that time from the attorney. I mean, if you have to text your kids and they are in a physical school right now, and you're texting back and forth, or even in the same house, of course you're going to do that. But be careful with wasting a lot of time. Focus on getting those 8 hours in and working for that attorney. Okay, but there's very little equipment that you need. I mean, in my little office space that I have, I bought 2 tables from Office Depot years ago that go up and down, and it was honestly, I used to have 2 monitors, and my husband took one away because his went kaplooey, and so I have one monitor that's my computer. 2 monitors is great. When you get used to that, it's fabulous. But I'm using 1 monitor. I very rarely use my printer anymore, and certainly don't use, I'm sure a lot of people are still using the printer, but people are trying to save money on paper. Paper has become more expensive, so they're trying to save money. And because of technology, we don't have to use the printer as much. Never mind a scanner, you know? So it might be that you will have to pick up a scanner. It depends on what your employer needs. And they may have one that they can let you use too. So you can check into that. And if that's the only thing keeping you from getting the job, then and they're like $79 or something, then I would think about getting one. Okay, but they may have one in the office that's portable that you could pick up. So you could always down the road question that. But rather than going out and buying that stuff right now, you can set up as much as you can. I definitely would get that file cabinet and just have that there to say, I have a locking file cabinet, okay, when you're interviewing. All right, so that is it. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, post below. I would love to hear from you. Do not forget to go to my website. It's easy to remember, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and look at, let's see, I've just got messages coming up from YouTube. Look at the 19 alternative paralegal careers list at the top. It's all over to the left, at the top of the website. So website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com. Look for the number 19. That's complimentary. You have to sign up for it, but that takes you into a hub where there's other resources to look at, okay? And then also off to the right on the website is a free chapter of my book, Legal Break-In. So when you sign up for either of those, it'll take you to a hub where there are videos and additional resources for you to view and also to download. So I hope you'll take me up on that and you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy those resources. There's a couple videos there that are important for you to watch for your future career or current career. The last thing is also go look under courses on the website, and you will see a course called Entry Paralegal Job Hunt Kit. That's a 3-module course. That's taken from my mega course. That's also up there called Paralegal Inner Circle class. But I took those 3 modules, and they are by far, they're very important for you when you're looking to break into the field, to get past the 0 callbacks, to get over the hump of thinking that they only want experienced people. That's not true. So those 3 modules will help you greatly. And my class, Paralegal Inner Circle class, is closed right now and will not open again until 2021, next year. So we just opened it up for a short time, for about a week, and then closed it again. So I'll launch again in next year. But this class is a quick 3-module, 24 videos or so for you to watch. And very important if you need something to help you understand it. Well, it has cover letter instruction, which is vitally important. It has job ad information. People I know are applying to the wrong jobs and getting no callbacks. I teach you what jobs you should apply for. And the 3rd module is interviews. So you can go under courses and read more about that, okay? And that is it for today. So any questions, comments, post them below. Things that you're discouraged about, troubled by, concerned with, and let me know if this was a valuable video for you, as far as, because most of you right now will be working remotely, okay?